Dear friends, welcome to the serial lectures on traditional Chinese culture. Today, we will talk about traditional Chinese festivals. Traditional Chinese festivals are deeply rooted in the farming culture in ancient China. All the festivals contain their unique cultural connotations. The major traditional Chinese festivals include Spring Festival, Lantern Festival, Pure Brightness, Double Fifth Festival, Double Seventh Festival, Mid-Autumn Festival, Double Ninth Festival, Winter Solstice, and La Ba Festival. Spring Festival is the most important, which can be compared to Christmas in the West. Pure Brightness can be compared to Halloween. Double Seventh Festival is known as Chinese Valentine's Day. Mid-Autumn Festival is the second largest. Mid-Autumn Festival can be compared to Thanksgiving Day. Dragon Boat Festival ranks the third in importance. The differences between traditional Chinese festivals and Western festivals lie in three aspects. In terms of origin, traditional Chinese festivals are deeply rooted in the farming culture. However, Western festivals usually originated from religion, mostly Christianity. In terms of activity, the major activity in Chinese festivals is eating, such as dumpling and mooncake. However, that in Western festivals is playing, like trick or treat in Halloween. With regard to aim, most of Chinese festivals are aimed at the inheritance of traditional merits and associated with the wishes of safety and longevity, while Western festivals are aimed at entertainment. Shall we begin with Spring Festival? Spring Festival, also known as Lunar New Year, is the most important traditional festival in China, just as important as Christmas Day in Western culture. It falls on the first day of the first lunar month and lasts for 15 days until the Lantern Festival. Spring Festival is the time for rest and relaxation after a year's toil and hard work, and for celebration as well. It is a festival for family reunion. People make painstaking effort to go back home, no matter how far away the distance is. Spring transport is terrific. A family reunion dinner on the Lunar New Year's Eve is a must for every Chinese family. What is the origin of Chinese New Year? The practical reason for beginning the year during cold weather is that it is the time between autumn harvest winter storage, and spring plowing, summer weeding. It is the time for rest and relaxation after a year's toil and hard work. Chinese folklore also offers an explanation. In the ancient time, a demon called Nian lived under the sea. The monster would prey on people once a year on the New Year's Eve. It would jump out from the sea, attack villages, devour people, animals, and plants. The villagers gathered to discuss how to deal with Nian. Some people suggested that the demon was afraid of loud noise, red color, and flames. So they set off firecrackers, put red couplets on their gates, beat gongs and drums to drive Nian away. Their ideas worked, and Nian fled. Thus, the custom of celebrating the Spring Festival was born. 过年 or surviving the Nian means celebrating the New Year. How to celebrate the Spring Festival? The main activities include spring cleaning, putting red couplets on the gate, setting off firecrackers, line dance, dragon dance, and stilt walking, receiving gift money, greeting relatives and friends, watching Spring Festival evening gala. Spring cleaning is to sweep out poverty and bad luck. From the 23rd day of the 12th lunar month, people begin to clean their houses to bid farewell, to say goodbye to the old year and usher in a happy and fresh new year. People put red couplets on the front gate. The Chinese character Fu is a must. It means fortune or blessing. The character is put upside down, for in Chinese the reversed Fu is homophonic to fortune comes, both being pronounced as 福到了. People set off firecrackers to celebrate the Spring Festival. It is said that evil spirits can be frightened away. The 5th day of the 5th lunar month is the birthday of the god of wealth. People set off fireworks the night before to greet the god of wealth. They all want to welcome and worship the god of wealth, so if you spend the Spring Festival in China, you will find it very difficult to go to sleep at that night. The 5th day is also called Break 5. Many taboos are broken on that day. Line dance, dragon dance, and stilt walking are performed. Walking on stilts is the folk acrobatics. It is rather lively and vivacious. Spring Festival is also the happiest time for children because they can get red envelopes or red packets containing money as a gift from the elders, say their parents or relatives. During the Spring Festival, any unfortunate word cannot be heard because it will make people upset and unhappy. People also make use of the holiday to visit relatives and friends, bringing them some presents and well-wishing. Here the kids are carrying a lot of gold ingots, wishing you prosperity. This complicated character consists of 4 Chinese characters meaning bringing in wealth and treasure. Auspicious words include treasures fill the home, business flourishes, peace all year round, wishing you prosperity, harmony brings wealth. May all your wishes come true. Everything goes well. The country flourishes and people live in peace. People stay up late or all night watching Spring Festival evening gala on Chinese Central Television. The TV program is really cheerful and exhilarating. People also go traveling during the public holiday. Traditional New Year food includes dumpling, New Year cake, spring roll, whole fish. The most traditional Spring Festival food is dumpling, with vegetable and meat stuffing, most popular in the north. The Chinese name of dumpling is 饺子. 饺 means cross. 子 is the Chinese traditional time representing midnight. And 饺子 means cross midnight, representing the beginning of the new year. So when it comes to the midnight, every family begins to eat dumplings. Here is an old lady with 饺子. In the south, people eat 年糕, made of sweet steamed glutinous rice with osmanthus blossoms symbolizing abundance and wealth of the household. Fish and surplus are homophone, both pronounced as 鱼 in Chinese language. A whole fish represents abundance and togetherness. Here, an obese baby with plump cheek is holding a whole fish. The Lantern Festival or Yuanxiao Festival falls on the 15th day of the first lunar month. It marks the end of Chinese New Year festivities. The first lunar month is known as Yuan month. While Xiao means night, there is a bright full moon hanging in the sky. The origin of Lantern Festival had something to do with religious worship. In the Eastern Han Dynasty, Buddhism was introduced into China. The emperor heard that Buddhist monks would respectfully watch Sarira and light lanterns to worship Buddha on the 15th day of the first lunar month. Sarira is Sanskrit, referring to the remains after cremation of Buddha's body, like gallstones, teeth, etc. So the emperor ordered to light lanterns in the imperial palace and temples to show respect to Buddha on this day. Later, the Buddhist rite developed into a grand festival among common people, and its influence expanded from Central Plains to the whole of China. In the daytime, performances such as lion dance, dragon dance, land boat dance, yanko dance, walking on stilts, beating gongs and drums will be staged. Lion dance is believed to be able to dispel evil and bring good luck. Here we can see the dragon dance. The flying dragon is held by several young guys. The guy with a ball in hand leads the dragon to move. Land boat dance is the folk dance, colorful and joyous. Farmers do the yanko dance when they transplant rice seedlings. At night, there is an ocean of magnificent lanterns hanging out in the streets, in different shapes and colors. Various lanterns are exhibited, made of paper, gauze, silk, or plastic, in the shapes of fish, lotus, or rabbit. Each year takes one animal as the theme. The animal that is designated by the Chinese zodiac. In the year of dragon, dragon-shaped lanterns can be seen everywhere. People go along the street to watch lanterns, and children light their own small lanterns for fun. Some lanterns have puzzles on them, called lantern puzzle. Lantern owners write riddles on a piece of paper and post them on the lanterns. If visitors have solutions to the riddles, they can pull the paper off and go to the lantern owners to check the answers. If they are right, they will get a small gift. Guessing lantern riddles is interesting and full of wisdom. It is popular among all social strata. Lantern Festival is also a day for lovers. In the past, women's feet were bound. They did foot binding, and they could not go out of the house. But on Yuanxiao night, young men and women would go out into the streets, look at the lanterns, solve the lantern riddles, and enjoy a rare chance to mingle freely with one another. Of course, these restrictions no longer exist, but there is still a hint of romance in the air. People eat yuanxiao. Yuanxiao has another name, tangyuan. Tangyuan in Chinese has a similar pronunciation with 团圆, meaning family reunion. People eat them to denote family unity, harmony, and happiness. Tangyuan are small balls made of glutinous rice flour with different stuffing. The balls are round in shape, just like the full moon. Tangyuan can be boiled, steamed, or fried. It tastes delicious. The fillings inside are either sweet or salty. Sweet fillings are made of bean paste, sesame, osmanthus flour, rose petal, jujube paste, walnut meat, peanut jam, and edible oil. Salty stuffing includes minced meat, vegetables, or a mixture. The making of yuanxiao differs. In the south, people shape the dough of rice flour into balls, make a hole, insert the filling, then close the hole and roll it between the hands. In the north, the fillings are pressed into hardened cores, dipped lightly in water, and rolled in a flat basket containing dry glutinous rice flour. A layer of flour sticks to the filling. Then they are again dipped in water and rolled a second time in the rice flour. It goes like rolling a snowball until the dumpling is the desired size. Pure brightness is also known as Qingming Festival, Tomb Sweeping Day, Clear and Bright Festival. Qingming literally means pure brightness. Pure brightness falls in early spring. To be precise, it falls on April the 4th or 5th or 6th in Gregorian calendar or solar calendar. It is not only one of the 24 solar terms to guide farm work, but also a festival for commemoration. In Confucianism, there are 3 sacrificial rites: worshipping heaven and earth, worshipping ancestors, and worshipping sages and men of virtue. People worshipped heaven and earth in order to pray for harvest. People worship their ancestors at home, at tombs, and also in ancestral temples. People also worshipped sages and men of virtue like Confucius. In pure brightness, people worship their ancestors at tombs. They sweep the tombs, offer sacrifices to remember, honor, and pay respect to their deceased family members. The day before the pure brightness is known as Han Shi Festival or Cold Food Festival. Legend goes that it is popularly associated with Jiezi Tui, who lived in Shanxi province in 600 BC. Jie is the surname. Tui is the given name. Zi is used to show respect. Jie saved the life of his starving lord by serving a piece of his own leg. When the Lord succeeded in becoming the ruler of a small country, he invited his faithful follower to join him. However, Jie declined the invitation, preferring to lead a hermit's life with his mother in the mountain. Believing that he could force Jie out by burning the mountain, the Lord ordered his men to set the forest on fire. But Jie chose to remain where he was and was burned to death together with his mother. To commemorate Jie, the Lord ordered all fires in every home to be put out on the anniversary of Jie's death. Thus began the Cold Food Feast, a day when no food could be cooked since no fire could be lit. The Cold Food Festival occurs on the eve of Qingming Festival and is often considered as part of the Qingming Festival. The most important thing is sacrifice. People visit the graves of ancestors and sweep the tombs, offering food, flowers, and other favorites of the dead. Here we can see the floral tribute to the departed. People also burn incense sticks and paper money. Here is a note of 100 million RMB issued by the Underworld Bank. Qingming Festival sees a combination of sadness and happiness. In contrast to the sadness of tomb sweepers, people enjoy the hope of spring. They go to the suburb to breathe the fresh air and enjoy the scenery. They also fly kites, plant willow trees, and go swinging. Here we can see the spring outing in Biyun Temple in the west of Beijing. People believe that releasing a kite can let go of illness and bad luck. So, to pick up a kite lost or released by someone else could bring bad luck. Green rice ball is made of glutinous rice flour mixed with the juice of a kind of green wild vegetable known as wormwood. Qingming dumpling is made of the same material as green rice ball, but looks like dumpling. There is a famous poem, Qingming, written by Du Mu of the Tang Dynasty. Pure brightness comes with heavy rains. Passers-by go with dampened spirit. I would like to ask where the tavern is. The buffalo boy points to the village with apricot blossoms. Really poetic. Here we can see the Chinese symphonic picture, riverside scene on pure brightness, painted by Zhang Zeduan of the Northern Song dynasty. It is honored as one of the top 10 paintings handed down from ancient China. The entire piece was painted in hand scroll format, more than 5 meters long, adopting shifting perspective. It captures the daily life of people at the capital Bianjing, today's Kaifeng, on pure brightness, revealing the lifestyle of all levels of society, from rich to poor, as well as prosperous economic activities in rural areas and the city. We can see the hustle and the bustle of the busy street along the river. The images of boats, bridges, and shops are geometrically accurate. Dragon Boat Festival is also known as Double Fifth Festival. Dragon Boat Festival is one of the 3 most important Chinese festivals, together with Spring Festival and Mid-Autumn Festival. It is traditionally celebrated on the 5th day of the 5th lunar month, thus also called Double Fifth Festival. It has a history of more than 2,000 years. The festival is widely accepted as a day to commemorate Qu Yuan, the great poet of Warring States period. He was frustrated with his ideals and committed suicide by drowning himself in the Miluo River. Legend goes that Qu Yuan was a minister of the Chu state. In the face of great pressure from the powerful Qing state, he advocated enriching the country and strengthening its military forces to make the Chu state prosperous and strong, so as to fight against Qing state. However, he was opposed by aristocrats headed by Zilan, and later deposed and exiled by King Huai. In 278 BC, when he heard the news that Qin troops had finally conquered Chu's capital, he finished his last piece, Huaisha, meaning embracing sand, and plunged himself into the Miluo River in Hunan province, clasping his arms to a large stone. People were sad over the death of the patriotic poet. They crowded to the riverbank to pay respect to him. The fishermen sailed up and down the river in an attempt to find his remains. People threw zongzi into the Miluo River to feed the fish. They hoped Qu Yuan's body would not be eaten by fish or shrimp. An old doctor poured a jug of realga wine into the water, hoping to turn all aquatic beasts drunk. That's the origin of later customs such as dragon boat racing, eating zongzi, and drinking realga wine. In 1957, Qu Yuan was selected by the World Peace Council as one of the 4 cultural figures to be memorized by the world, together with Copernicus, the Polish astronomer, Dante, the Italian poet, and Shakespeare, the English dramatist. Dragon boat racing is quite a spectacle, with drums beating, colorful flags waving, and thousands of people cheering on both sides of the river. People all wanted to become the first to find the poet. Dragon boat racing is an indispensable part of the festival, especially along the waterways in southern China. The canoe is decorated in the shape of a dragon with a drum to set the pace. The dragon-shaped canoe is brightly painted. A wooden dragon head is attached at the bow, and a dragon tail at the stern. A banner is also fastened at the stern. Folk tales say the game originates from the activities of seeking Qu Yuan's body, but experts, after painstaking and meticulous research, conclude that dragon boat racing is a semi-religious, semi-entertaining program from the Warring States period. Zongzi, as the traditional food for Dragon Boat Festival, is a pyramid-shaped rice pudding made of glutinous rice and wrapped in bamboo or reed leaves to give it a special flavor. It is variously stuffed with meat, ham, bean paste, salted egg yolk, sausage, nut, and vegetable. At the beginning of summer, diseases are likely to strike. It is an especially dangerous time, and extra efforts must be made to protect the family from illness. So people wear talisman to ward off evil spirits, to keep evil spirits away. People may hang a picture of Zhongkui on the door. Zhongkui is the guardian against evil spirits. Many families hang wormwood on the door to pray for peace. Wormwood is the herb called 艾草. Adults may drink realga wine, and children carry fragrant silk pouches. It is said that if you can balance a raw egg on its end at exactly noon on double fifth day, the rest of the year will be lucky. It is a very popular practice to drink realga wine. Realga wine is the Chinese liquor seasoned with realga. It can detoxify. Ancient Chinese believed realga was an antidote for all poisons, and therefore can kill insects and drive away evil spirits. And the children would have the Chinese character Qin written on their foreheads with realga wine. This is for protection from evil and disease for the rest of the year. Parents dress their children up with fragrant silk pouches. They first sew little bags with colorful silk cloths. Then fill the bags with herbal medicines and finally string them with silk threads. The sachet will be hung around the neck or tied to the front of garment as talisman. It is said to be able to ward off evil. Now let's come to Double Seventh Festival or Qixi Festival. Double Seventh Festival or Qixi Festival falls on the seventh day of the seventh lunar month. It is a traditional festival full of romance. It is not as well known as other traditional festivals, but almost everyone in China, young and old, is familiar with the story, the tragedy behind this festival. Because of the romantic legend, nowadays the Double Seventh Festival is popularly regarded as Chinese Valentine's Day. Traditionally, people in China take this day as Qi Qiao Festival and Daughter's Festival, so it holds special meaning for girls. In Japan, it is known as Tanabata Festival. The Qixi Festival can be traced back to the Han Dynasty. How did the festival come into being? There's a romantic legend behind it. As the story goes, once there was an honest and kind-hearted cowherd who lived with his elder brother and sister-in-law. After their parents passed away, his brother inherited the land and house, but all he had was an old cow. His sister-in-law disliked him and abused him, and the cowherd was forced to leave home with the old cow. The cow, however, was a former god who had violated imperial rules and was sent to earth in bovine form. One day, the magic cow led the herd boy to a lake where fairies were taking a bath on earth. Among them was Weaving Girl, Jade Emperor's seventh daughter, the most beautiful fairy. The two fell in love at first sight and were soon married. They lived a happy life, husband plowing and wife weaving. They had a son and a daughter. Yet, in the eyes of the Jade Emperor, the supreme deity in Taoism, marriage between a mortal and a fairy was strictly forbidden. He sent the empress to fetch the weaving maid. The cowherd grew desperate when he discovered his wife had been taken back to heaven. Driven by the cowherd's misery, the cow told him to turn its hide or skin into a pair of shoes after it died. The magic shoes whisked the cowherd, who carried his two children in baskets with a shoulder pole, and chased after his wife. At the moment when he was about to catch up with his wife, the empress took off her hairpin and slashed it across the sky, creating the Milky Way, which separated husband from wife. However, their loyalty to love touched magpies. Thousands of magpies came to build a bridge across the Milky Way to reunite the family. The cowherd and the weaving maid could meet once a year on the seventh night of the seventh lunar month. Therefore, it is hard to find magpies on Chinese Valentine's Day, because all magpies fly to form the bridge for the weaving maid and cowherd. There is a famous lyric, "Immortal at the Magpie Bridge," written by Qin Guan of the Northern Song dynasty. Clouds float like works of art. Stars shoot with grief at heart. Across the Milky Way the cowherd meets the maid. When autumn's golden wind embraces dew of jade, all the love scenes on earth, however many, fade. Their tender love flows like a stream. The happy date seems but a dream. Can they bear a separate homeward way? If love between both sides can last for aye, why need they stay together night and day? Traditional celebrations include people gather together in the courtyard and look into the sky filled with bright stars. Girls pray for ingenuity. People display carved melon, artful cookie, and other delicacies. Here we can see the bustling Qixi market. Traditionally, people would gather together in the courtyard and look up at the constellation in the sky and find the bright star Altair as well as the star Vega, which are identified as the cowherd and the weaving maid. The two stars shine on opposite sides of the Milky Way. If it rains heavily that night, some elderly Chinese will say that the weaving maid is crying when she met her husband on the Milky Way. If young girls want to marry a handsome or wishful husband, young women wish to own a baby, they pray silently to the Vega. In bygone days, Qixi was not only a special day for lovers, but also for girls. It is also known as the Praying for Ingenuity Festival or Daughters Festival. Praying for dexterity or deft handicraft began in the Han Dynasty. The girl here is doing ingenious needlework. Girls would conduct a ceremony burning incense sticks, praying to the weaving maid for wisdom, dexterity, and a satisfying marriage in the future. Young women competed to pass a thread through the eyes of 7 needles in a single breath, known as threading needles, to pray for dexterity. Girls would appreciate the ingenious network or web spun by auspicious spiders. Besides, they would wash hair with sap and dye fingernails with herb. People display carved melons known as huagua. The watermelon here is really exquisite and artistic. People eat qiaoguo on that day, which is a kind of fried cookie made of flour and sugar, known as artful cookie, nice looking and delicious. Mid-Autumn Festival is the second largest traditional festival. It falls on the 15th day of the 8th lunar month. As the 15th day of the 8th lunar month is exactly the middle of autumn, it is called Mid-Autumn Festival. On that night, the moon is supposed to be brighter and fuller than any other night. A full moon is symbolic of family reunion. According to historic records, Chinese emperors have the tradition of worshipping the sun in spring and worshipping the moon in autumn. The Temple of Heaven is located in the south of Beijing. Emperors used to worship the heaven in winter solstice. Temple of Earth is located in the north of Beijing. Emperors used to worship the earth in summer solstice. Temple of Sun is located in the east of Beijing. Emperors used to worship the sun in spring equinox. Temple of Moon is located in the west of Beijing. Emperors would like to worship the moon in autumn equinox. Autumn equinox is a solar term in solar calendar, while Mid-Autumn Festival is in lunar calendar. The most famous legend is Chang'e flying to the moon. Chang'e is the goddess in the moon. Thousands of years ago, there were 10 suns in the sky, and many people felt too hot to live. It was scorching hot. A brave young man called Hou Yi shot 9 suns to the ground and saved the people. One day, Hou Yi got an elixir from the Queen Mother and gave it to his wife Chang'e to keep. A man named Peng Meng knew about the elixir and wanted to get it from Chang'e. One day, when Hou Yi was out hunting, Peng Meng went to rob the elixir. In order to protect the elixir, Chang'e swallowed it and then flied to the moon. She is happy about the leisure and tranquility on the moon. However, from time to time, she feels lonely and misses the earthly life. Only a jade hare, a rabbit, lives with her. The traditional food of Mid-Autumn Festival is mooncake, a round baked cake with different fillings. At that night, every family eats mooncakes and watches the moon. The round shape of mooncake represents family reunion. The essence of the festival is harmony and happiness of family life. Mooncake is the symbol of family reunion. Mooncakes have different tastes, mostly sweet stuffing like the lotus seed powder. Double Nimes Festival is celebrated on the 9th day of the 9th lunar month. It is also known as Chongyang Festival or Double Positive Festival. The festival is based on the theory of yin and yang, the two opposites in nature. Yin is feminine and negative, while yang is masculine and positive. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 are odd numbers. Odd numbers are positive. 2, 4, 6, 8 are even numbers. Even numbers are negative. 9 is the biggest odd number. Double nines means double positive. 重阳 means yang is doubled. Ancient Chinese believe 9 represents the sun, the brightest thing. Double 9 means the sun is doubled. 9 is homophonic to long in Chinese. Both are pronounced as 九. So the Double Ninth Festival is also called Senior's Day. Crane is symbolic of longevity in China. The main activities on Chongyang Festival include climbing mountains, respecting elders, admiring chrysanthemum, inserting 茱萸, and eating cake. Double Ninth Festival is known as Height Ascending Festival. People ascend a height and look into the distance to enjoy the beautiful scenery. Climbing mountain is a good way to keep fit and healthy. Double Ninth Festival is also known as Senior's Day, the day for respecting the elders. People do practical things for the aged. They visit the nursing home, offering flowers to the aged, washing feet for them, and wishing them health and longevity. People even hold a banquet of 1,000 elders. What a spectacle! Double Ninth Festival is also called Chrysanthemum Festival. Chrysanthemum has the meaning of longevity. Chrysanthemum is honored as one of the 4 gentlemen, together with plum, orchid, and bamboo. Chrysanthemum symbolizes tranquility and longevity. Here, in the ink painting, the refined scholar is appreciating chrysanthemum flowers. People enjoy drinking chrysanthemum tea and chrysanthemum wine. Chrysanthemum tea is refreshing and anti-aging. Chrysanthemum wine is honored as longevity wine and auspicious wine. It can avert disaster and bring in good fortune. 茱萸 or cornel is the fragrant medicinal plant with small red fruits. People wear cornels on the head. They believe wearing cornels can keep evil spirits away and cure disease. In Chinese, cake has the same pronunciation as height. Both are pronounced as gao. Thus, eating cake can also mean ascending height. The colorful double knives cakes are usually steamed, some sprinkled with osmanthus blossoms. There is a famous poem, Double Knives, Missing My Shandong Brothers, written by Wang Wei of the Tang Dynasty. As a lonely stranger in a strange land, every holiday homesickness amplifies. Knowing that my brothers have reached the peak, all but one is present at the planting of Zhuyu. So people become extremely homesick on festive occasions. The La Ba festival is celebrated on the 8th day of the 12th lunar month. It is the start of celebration of the Chinese Lunar New Year. La in Chinese means the 12th lunar month, and Ba means 8. It is customary in China to eat La Ba Congee, the porridge or soup, on this day. The La Ba festival was influenced by Buddhism. It was the Enlightenment Day of the Buddha at the age of 35. Therefore, many customs are related to Buddhism. Traditionally, people would worship ancestors and gods, pray for a good harvest, and eat La Ba rice porridge. Usual La Ba rice porridges are made of mixed rices, beans like red bean or mung bean, nuts and dates cooked with sugar to make the porridge tasty. Controlling the heat is of great importance in making La Ba rice porridge. At the start, the flame must be high. Then the fire is turned down to simmer the porridge until it emits a delicious smell. The process is time-consuming but not complicated. In the Qing dynasty, ceremonies of La Ba festival were held in Yonghe Temple in Beijing. Yonghe Temple is a monastery of Lamaism, Tibetan Buddhism. And the La Ba Congees in Yonghe Temple include cream, diced lamb, and such ingredients as mixed grains, dried red date, longan, chestnut, peanut, water caltrop, walnut, raisin, melon seed, and whole jelly. Here is the cauldron, the big pot used to cook La Ba rice porridge in Yonghe Temple. So much for today. Thank you very much.